And hello, everyone. My name is Edward, and I work with Maria at the University of Girona. And today we are going to have a session about the method called digital storytelling with Scratch. The idea is that this next hour, this session, I will follow these steps. First of all, I'm going to give you a short presentation. In fact, you already have this presentation, a similar one, because I added some things, a similar one in video. It's one of the materials of this course. Then I will give you some minutes to join the Scratch platform. Scratch is an online platform, stories, digital stories. So I'm going to give you today a few minutes so you can join the Scratch online platform. And then this way, when we go to Firenze, it's going to be easier for all to work with Scratch. Then I will do a short tutorial about Scratch. So I will open in my screen the Scratch website, and I will show you a few things, how to create a simple project and how to share it. And then basically I will give you also, if we have time, hopefully, 10 minutes at the end to start creating your own project and maybe even to share it. So I'm going to start sharing my screen. Also, before I start the presentation, if you have two devices, if you are at home or at work, I don't know where you are, but if you have two devices, maybe it's going to be easier for you because I will do a tutorial and maybe you can try the same thing that I'm doing in my screen in your other device. But if you only have one laptop or you are in your phone, it's not a problem. You can also follow. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. Okay, so the title of the method is Digital Storytelling with Scratch. This method was part of an European project that was called Diverse. But in this session, I'm not going to focus on explaining the project, but I'm going to focus on explaining the method. Because in this project, we had also several methods. In fact, we had 3 methods. So I'm going to focus only on explaining the digital storytelling with the Scratch method. As you can see in this slide, the method is about creating digital animations, digital stories. And now we'll see how can we do that in the framework, of course, of education and learning. So why digital storytelling? First of all, as all of you know, since the dawn of civilization, humans have needed to share and connect through stories. The stories have been so important for many, many years, for thousands of years. Stories are more than entertainment. They are like an expression of our desire to understand, but also to be understood. And they are like bridges that connects across generations, across cultures, etc., etc. So I think we can all agree that stories and storytelling is something very important. But why storytelling in education? Well, there are many reasons. We could be talking about this for a long time, but storytelling in education fosters engagement and improves the understanding by connecting the lessons that we are doing with relatable human experiences. This could be maybe one of the main reasons. But it's important to know that storytelling in education, it's not only important for the teachers. I mean that the teachers can use stories to make learning more engaging. It's also something that the children themselves, they can practice and do. They can create stories when they are learning. And in fact, in this method, we focus on how can children use technology in this case, because it's digital, and you'll see the platform that we are going to use. So how can they use technology to express themselves by creating stories? stories that are relevant for them about social issues, etc. So, what makes the storytelling digital? So when we are using, it's very easy, eh? When we are using digital tools to do storytelling, we are doing digital storytelling. Okay, when we are doing digital storytelling, in some way we are combining different mediums of expression because we are using text, we are using sounds, we are using images, sometimes we are using videos, etc. So it's multimedia. Benefits of all these things that we are talking about. It makes learning more engaging. If well done, and if we put the children in the center of their own learning, and they are themselves creating the stories, we are improving their creativity. Also, we are practicing critical thinking because you have to plan, you have to design the stories before you create them. So you have to think about the social issue that the story that you are creating is about, etc., etc. And at the same time, you are learning digital competences, technical skills, and if we are using Scratch, which is the platform that we are going to use, you are also learning coding, you are learning programming, which is a very important skill in today's world. So also we could mention more benefits, but I focus on this. Digital storytelling provides a unique opportunity for children to express themselves through digital media. So it's the same idea that I said before. It's not only about teachers using stories to make learning more engaging. In this method, we focus on children themselves creating the stories in the educational context, inside the school. And also, a very important idea for us, and with this us, I mean in our research group, when we work with Maria in this project, but also in other projects, is that we can integrate digital tools with traditional tools. Doing digital storytelling means that we are going to use digital tools, but it does not mean that we are not going to use paper, pencil, art crafts, etc. And you will see in Firenze that in some of the activities that we are going to do there, I will ask you to do a lot of drawing, painting, playing with cardboard, etc. And then when you have these physical objects, you can take photos, you can take videos, and you can do the digital animations. But integrating digital tools with traditional storytelling, we believe that it's useful to create richer learning environments. And this is what we are going to try to do in these days of trainings in Firenze. This is the website of the platform that we are going to use. If you want to check it now, you can already go to the website and start checking. It's called scratch.mit.edu. And it's an open platform, an online platform designed especially for children, but also can be used by adults. And it's about, I repeat the same that I told you just 1 minute ago, about using technology to express ourselves in a creative way. And how can we do this in Scratch? By programming. So it's a platform to learn programming, and is especially designed for children. So we can move and drag and connect different instructions. These instructions are like Lego pieces of different colors. And depending on how we attach these instructions, we are creating a story or a game or an art project. You will see. It's very intuitive, and it's been designed to foster self-learning. So you can use tutorials, you can use books, you can use thousands of websites that explain how to do things with Scratch. But at the same time, it's designed so you can learn things yourself. Why Scratch? In the video that I created as a material for this method and that you will have in your list of materials, I mentioned some of these. Now I'm going to mention also some, but here you have many of these reasons. First of all, because it's online and it's free. You don't need to install anything, and you can use it in your computer. You can use it in your table, in your tablet. In your phone, you can also use it, but it's a bit more complicated because of the size of the screen, basically. But you can use it. It's multi-platform. It's translated into many languages. For me, the most interesting reason is because it has a very powerful pedagogical approach behind. So if you were listening to Maria just a few minutes ago, she was talking about the different researchers that were behind constructivism and constructionism. Piaget, Seymour Papert, and Mitch Resnick. And Mitch Resnick, the last one, is the father of Scratch. He created with some colleagues. He's the co-creator of Scratch. Scratch can allow us to create digital stories, but not only stories. In this project, in this method, we are focusing on creating stories by using Scratch, but we could also create games, art projects, simulations, many things. It's also very interesting because we can share our creations on the internet. It's very easy to share. Today I will show you how, if I have time. And also a very interesting concept of Scratch is the concept of remix. Remixing projects done by someone else. So you can find a project on the website, you can try it, you like it, and then you create your own version of this project, this story. And when you do that in Scratch, you call it a remix. So remixing Scratch projects means trying projects from other people and create your own versions. And many other reasons. Okay, we really love Scratch, and not only because it's an interesting technical tool to create digital stories, but also because it's very well designed. I'm not going to explain this because Maria already did, and she did it very well. So Scratch is rooted in these pedagogical approaches, in constructivism and constructionism. And the main idea is this idea that I'm repeating several times, that we can use technology to express ourselves. This is something that also Maria mentioned, and it's very important when we are creating stories. We try to follow this creative thinking spiral. So first we have to imagine the story that we want to create. Then we have to create it. We have to construct it, this part of learning by doing, by creating things. After creating the story, we can play with it because we can modify it, we can do changes, we can try if it works or not, the project in the Scratch website. We can improve it, and then we can share it with our team, with our class. And since we are in an age where internet is everywhere, we can also share it through the internet, and maybe some other children in some other school in some other country will find this story, they will use it, they will remix it, etc. We can reflect about all the process that we follow to create this story. And finally, but not finally, we can imagine again, we can reimagine. This is a never-ending spiral, and we can keep doing iterations while we are learning and learning and learning. So this is important. This process is important in this project, also in the Talent Maker project. And when we are doing things with Scratch, we are creating projects like these ones. These are just screen captures, screenshots. So these were dynamic projects with movements, with characters talking, different scenes, etc. Here is just some photos to show you examples of projects created. In fact, all of these were created in the framework of the Diverse project. And here you have an example. I think I shared the sound. If not, it's not important. But just to show you a final product created by children. In this case, it was a co-creation between children. In fact, I'm seeing that it's not okay. I don't know why, but the video is not running. It's just a static image. But it was a video of a story created by children of India and children of Catalonia together. It was a co-creation, and the story was showing the life of some refugees that were escaping from Syria and going to Barcelona through Greece. So it was all this trip that many thousands of refugees sadly have to do. And it wasn't a story created. I can show you later the video if you have time. I can find it in YouTube. But it was just an example of a final product created for children. We'll see many during these days of trainings. So now, first things, okay, first, I stop talking and I ask you to do some things. The first thing that I'm asking you to do is to join the Scratch. If you are already in Scratch, you can skip this step. But the first step is going to this website, scratch.mit.edu, and then click on Join Scratch and follow the steps. It's very simple. In just few minutes, you can do it. It's designed to be done by children, so it's really easy. And the second step, and don't forget this second step is very important. Then you go to your email, and you will receive a message from the Scratch team asking you to confirm your email address. And it's very important that you do this step. If you don't do it, you will be able to use a Scratch, but you will not be able to share projects. And it's very important that we are able to share projects with other people through the internet. So I give you 5 minutes, okay, to join the Scratch platform and to confirm your email. Maybe this email will reach you in 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or half an hour. But I'm sure that in less than 1 hour, you will get this email, and it's important that you click on the link. Okay, so it's 5:16. I give you till 5:21 to join Scratch and to confirm your email. And during this time, if you have any question, please, you can open your micro and ask the question, or you can write it in the chat. I'm not seeing the chat right now, but I'm sure that Costas or someone will let me know. By the way, when you go to the main Scratch website, if you go to the bottom, you can change the language. So you will see that all the Scratch website is translated to many languages. I think all of the languages of the people participating in this training are already there. You can check it. Also, in a few minutes, I will show you how to change the language when we are programming, when we are using the Scratch interface, not only the website. There is also a way to create educator accounts in Scratch. I will show you that in Firenze, okay? Because maybe as trainers, as teachers, it's going to be useful for you, because if you join as an educator, then you can manage accounts of children. You can create children accounts in a very fast way, and you can then see what they are sharing, what they are doing, and you can have all their projects inside something that in Scratch is called Studios. That's today at the end. If we have time, I will ask you to share in a studio your first Scratch project, your first creations, if you want. It's totally optional, but it's going to be nice if you share the first things that you do. I don't know if there is a message in the chat because I got like a notification. Do students have to use emails to join? Yes, they need an email. But I think that if you have this Scratch Educator account that I was mentioning, then you can create student accounts without email. I think so, but I'm not sure of that. I will check it. But if they join directly in the Scratch website, yes, they need an email. That is something quite common in European schools right now. So most of the children, even in elementary schools, they have emails because they use Google Classroom, they use platforms like that in the schools, sometimes, not always. But if this is a problem, of course, we can solve it in different ways. We can create accounts.
Sorry,
Yes,
I just wanted to ask because in my school, the children don't have their email inboxes active. They just have emails. So they don't use the mails to get messages. We just use the classroom to communicate to the children. So I'm just wondering if there's a workaround, like a join code or something like that, without having to use their emails to join.
Yeah, I think maybe the way to escape from this is to create a Scratch Educator account, and then you can create directly from your account the accounts of the children. But I will check it because I don't remember if you do it this way, you also need emails or not. If not, the other way is creating accounts with adult emails, and that's all. Then they have a user, a password, and they don't need to worry about the email. The email belongs to someone, some teacher or some educator, and that's all. Okay, so it's 5:22. I think I gave you enough time. If not, you can do it as a homework, okay? But please try to come to Firenze with your Scratch account already created, because it will make things easier. In Firenze, in fact, in the activities, we are not going to work individually, we are going to work in teams. So if someone don't has an account, it's not going to be a massive problem, but I really encourage you all to create accounts, okay? And I will explore this problem of children emails, okay? And I will follow up this thing. Okay, so now I go to the Scratch website. So it's here. This is the Scratch website. So if you join a Scratch, first you went to this website. And here now I can read Edward M, which is my account. But if you are not logged in, here you can see the login option. Okay, here in the top. The Scratch website is like, I don't know, like a YouTube with millions of projects. Instead of having videos, you have projects created by children from all over the world. There are millions and millions of projects. Some of them are stories, some of them are art projects. Some of them are simulations that they are simulating, I don't know, the water cycle. In the schools, they are simulating many different things. And here there are, in the main page of Scratch, different sections highlighting different kind of projects. You can explore the website. It's not the purpose of today to explore this website. We are going to focus on the Scratch interface. So in just few minutes, I'm going to go to this create button in the top left corner, and we are going to start creating stories by using Scratch. But before, I want to take this opportunity to also show you two of these options. The Explore one. In Explore, in the top menu, you can explore projects by using different categories: animations, art, game, music, stories. You can also search projects in this search field, also in the top menu. And I think more important for you as trainers and educators and teachers is going to the ideas section, because here in the ideas, you will find tutorials. Then when I open the interface, I will show you these tutorials, but there are many. There are tutorials to create different things, getting started, animate a name, imagine a wall, make a chess game, create a story, make music, animate a character. You can check these tutorials. They are very well designed, and they let you learn something specific in Scratch. These are the official tutorials that are in the Scratch website, but if you go to Google and you search for Scratch tutorials, you'll find hundreds or thousands. So there is a huge community of people using Scratch. And these ones are translated to many, many languages. So I go back. Sorry, I go back to the main website. I go to ideas. And we have the tutorials, but also we have this section that is getting started that will give you tips to start learning Scratch. Also, there are activity guides designed especially for educators. So this is not only a tutorial. If you click one of these, for example, make music. So here you can try the tutorial, but also you have some cards. The coding cards are cards that you can print and you can use with the children. And these cards give the children like small challenges, and they have the solution of this challenge also printed in the same card. And also there is an educator guide for this activity of making music with Scratch. So you will find a lot of resources. Okay, here you have the Scratch cards. They are translated also to many, many languages, started projects, many, many things. Just please try to explore a little bit the website before coming to Firenze. And I go to the create section. So now, if you have two devices, and if you are lucky to have two devices, because I didn't alert you before, you can open a Scratch and try to do the same that I'm doing now, that I will do right now. If not, you can try to have two tabs open in your browser and do your best following me. I'm going to do it slowly, don't worry. So we go to this option that says create in the top left menu. Just now I remember that I told you that at the bottom of the website, there is the language. You can change the language. You can see here English, but also many, many languages. For example, Catalan, that is my mother tongue, Spanish, many, many languages. You can check. But I was going to the top left button that says create. So we click here. And please, if I go too fast, stop me. You can interrupt me wherever you want. So this is the main website of Scratch, the main interface for coding, for creating projects. Here on the left, we have the instructions, the coding instructions. And there are different kinds of instructions. For example, these ones, the blue ones, are for motion, for creating movements. But there are also some instructions, the purple ones, that are for looks, for creating different looks for the characters, for the sprites of Scratch. In Scratch, the characters, like this cat, they are called sprites. There are also instructions for sounds, for music, events, control. Today I'm going to show you just few blocks, few of these instructions. But if you explore the interface, you'll see that there are many, and Scratch is a very open platform that let you do a lot of different things, variables, my blocks, etc., etc. So I go back to Motion. So this is one of the three main parts of the interface, the instructions, the one in the left. We have this central part that right now is empty. Here we can put the instructions. We can drag the instructions to the center. I'm going to make it bigger so you can see my examples. If it's not built correctly or it's not enough big, you tell me, Costas or whoever, and I will make it more visible. So this is the central part. Here we can attach and we can put different pieces and we can attach them together. And then finally, there is the right part of the interface, that is the stage. And on the stage, we see our product, the thing that we are creating. If we are creating a story, the story will happen in this stage. If we are creating a game, the game will happen also in this stage. You can see that right now I have a cat. In fact, this cat is called Scratch, like the interface, like the platform, but we can add our own sprites. We can add sprites from the Scratch libraries. We can add sprites from the internet, etc., etc. So what I'm going to do right now is exactly that. I'm going to create a new sprite, and I'm also asking you to do that if you have another tab in your browser open or another device. So I'm going to delete this cat. You can see here this small icon. So I'm going to delete the cat, and I'm going to create a new sprite. I'm simply putting my cursor over here, over this right bottom button, and I'm going to choose one of these options. Upload a sprite means that you can take a photo from your hard drive, from your computer, and put it as a sprite. Surprise, it's just a random sprite from the Scratch libraries. Paint is to create a sprite by designing it, by painting it, by using a paint editor. A very simple one. It's not like a Photoshop, but it's like the paint in Windows. So it's a very simple paint editor that you can use for simple drawings. And finally, the option that I'm going to choose right now is this one that says choose a sprite. And if you click on choose a sprite, you go to the Scratch galleries and you can choose many different sprites. You will see that some of them have movements. If you put the cursor over them, some of them are drawn in different positions. And this is useful if we want to create animations. Some sprites, like the apple, it's drawn only in one position. You don't need more things because you don't need probably to do animations with this sprite. But in some of them, you can see that there are movements. So we are going to choose one. It doesn't matter right now which one. I'm going to choose, for example, I don't know, the fox. Okay, so I choose a fox. And I'm going to also choose in the same way. I have chosen a sprite. Now I'm going to choose a backdrop. The backdrop, it's the background. And it's this button also here in the right bottom corner. And I'm going to choose it in the same way from the galleries. And I can choose a simple one, for example, this one. So we have a fox and a city. And now we can start programming and creating a very simple story. Today, the idea in Firenze, we are going to do activities to learn Scratch, and we are going to practice a lot, and we'll do it in different type of activities, not only working with the screen, also working with our hands, as I told you before, mixing traditional methods with digital methods. But right now, I'm going to focus only on showing few main things that maybe will be useful for you to create the stories. So one thing that we need when we are creating a story is the characters to move. So for example, we can use this move instruction, and every time I click on this instruction, my fox is moving 10 steps. It's not like it's literally moving the legs to do steps. Steps is like a distance measure that they use in Scratch. Instead of saying pixels or millimeters, they are saying steps. And if I say move 10 steps, the fox is moving just a little bit. But if I say 50, it's moving a little bit more. If I say minus 50, probably you already are imagining what is going to happen. It's going to move to the left. Okay, so it's moving, in fact, backwards. If I say move 50, it's moving in the direction where it's pointing. And if I say minus something, minus 30, it's moving backwards instead of forward. So this is for moving. But you can see that right now, to start my program, this is just a single instruction, but it's also a program. It's a very small program, but it's a program. I have to click on the instruction every time. And this is not what we want. We want to start the stories with this green flag, or maybe with the space key in our keyboard, or with some event. So there are very special instructions in Scratch that are called events. It's the yellow menu. If we go to events, you will see that there are instructions with a different shape. This shape let us connect the instructions in this way, but I cannot connect anything here before the event. I only can do it here. It does not happen with the other instructions. If I choose just a random instruction from here, place sound pop, I can place it here, but also here. Okay, and this is making pop. Okay, but the instructions in the events can be placed here, but not here. We cannot attach the instruction here. So the events are always the first instructions in our programs, in our stories. So I'm going to use, for example, for these examples that we are creating, when the space key is pressed, to remove an instruction, we simply drag it to the left and it disappears. We drag it to the left and it disappears. And now I'm going to create a very simple program. I'm going to say, when the space key is pressed, move 100 steps. Then I'm going to say, turn 90 degrees. So the idea is that I'm going to place the fox here. And I'm going to say that when the when the space key is pressed, move 100 steps, turn 90 degrees. If I click my space key in the keyboard, it's going to do it super fast. So be very... Okay, so maybe it seems that it's doing just one movement, but it's doing both. I can show you. Also now, the fox is looking to the bottom. If we want to change the direction in any moment of our character, we can use this. Okay, this option just here on the stage. So I'm gonna use the 90 degrees again, so it's pointing to the right. And now, to show you that it's really doing all the instructions, not only one movement, I will add an instruction that says, in the orange menu, I'm taking this instruction that says wait. And I'm going to say wait for 3 seconds. So now, when I click the green space, not the green space, the space key, the fox will move 100 steps. It will wait, doing nothing, for 3 seconds, and it will turn 90 degrees. So I'm going to press space. It's moving forward. Now it's waiting 3 seconds, and it's turning. If I click again, it's moving forward. It's waiting 3 seconds, and it's turning. If I click again, it's moving forward, waiting 3 seconds, and turning. And if I do it again, It's moving forward, waiting 3 seconds, and turning. And we are again in the same position because we did move, turn 4 times. So in fact, we did like a square. We were following the shape of the square with the fox. What else? We can move, for example, 100 steps and then say something. In the stories, sometimes we need the characters to speak or to talk to each other. So we can use these say blocks. For example, instead of hello, I can say I love academia project. And now, if I click the space key, the fox is going to move 100 steps, he's going to wait 3 seconds, and then it will say, I love Academia project. So I click, it moves, it waits, and then it says, I love Academia project. Now I'm working with just one character, but I can add more characters. I could have 2 characters doing things at the same time. I'm going to create another one. Let's have another animal. For example, I don't know, the frog. So now we have a fox and a frog, okay? And the frog has no code here. If I click the green flag, the only one that is going to do something is the fox, because if we click here, the little fox, we can see that we have this program here. But if we click the little frog, it has nothing. So now if I click the green flag, only one is doing things, not the green flag, sorry, the space key. I'm doing this mistake every time because usually all the programs start with when the green flag click is pressed. So when I click the space key, the fox is moving and talking, but the frog is doing nothing. If we want the frog also to do something, we can also create some code for it, or we can even do like this. We can drag all this code from the fox to the frog. And now if I click the frog, it also has the same instructions, but maybe we don't want the same instructions. If we want the fox, instead of going to the right, we want it to go to the left. As you remember, we can use minus, and the frog will go backwards. It will go to the left. We can also wait a few seconds. Maybe we can wait more seconds. So the fox is going to talk first, and then after the fox finishes talking, the frog can answer, I love it too. So now if I click on the space key, both characters will move at the same time. The fox will say something after 3 seconds, and the frog will say something after 5 seconds. So it's going to be like a short dialogue between 2 characters. So we are already creating a story. We are not doing the imagining part that is very important in the spiral. Remember, we have to imagine the story. But now I'm just improvising and creating something with random characters, which is also a very interesting creativity exercise. And in fact, in Firenze, one of the exercise that we are going to do is by using random sprites. You'll see. So if I click right now the space key, both of them go to the center, the fox starts talking, and then the frog also says something. When we are doing things at the same time, in computer science, we say that we are using parallelism. So both the fox and the frog are doing things in parallel. This is the concept of parallelism. Since both of them have the space key event, they are starting when we click on the space key. Both of them start at the same time and they do things together. So we could keep looking at instructions, but today it's not the day. We are going to do this in Firenze. Today I simply wanted you to show you some of the main things that we can do in Scratch. We have seen how we can move the characters. There are different movements. We can also glide, for example, to an exact point. The stage has different points. If you move the frog, for example, here, now it's in the X 99, Y 101. If I move the frog here, now it's in the minus 136, and the Y is 112. So there are X and Y coordinates in each of the points of the stage. And that 0, 0 coordinate is the center of the screen, the center of the stage. So if I have the frog here in the top left corner, and I say glide for 5 seconds to the point 0, 0, and I say that it should do this when we click the green flag. Now when I click this little green flag, the frog will glide slowly during 5 seconds to the center of the screen. There are many different instructions. You can try them. For example, play sounds. We already tried this one very fast. I don't know if I'm sharing sound, but you can hear, I can hear a pop. We can change the sounds. The frog has only this pop sound, but we can record our own voices or our own sounds by using the micro of our computer, or we can go to sounds and we can add a new sound from the computer. We can record, we can have a random sound, we can choose sounds from the galleries. There are hundreds of different sounds, musical instruments, voices of humans, loops, music loops, etc. Here in code, you can see that also we have instructions for looks. We can change the color of the sprites. We can do many things. When we are, for example, now we are here with the frog. If we are with the frog and I click this word that says costumes, this option, I can go to the paint editor and I can change things. For example, I can paint the frog purple. Now I have a purple frog with yellow tongue. Okay, so I totally changed the colors of my frog. And there are different ways of doing that. We can use the paint editor, but also we can change the colors by using something that is called change color effect. That is an instruction that we can use inside our code. But we can do many things. Here we can also choose one part of the frog and modify it. For example, the eye, I can make big eyes. Okay, and I can do many things. Okay, so I can modify or I can draw. I can also draw things here, and I can change my sprite. So basically, this was the idea today, to show you some things like this. I'm going to go back to the presentation. And here, the idea now is that if you have time, we have time, in fact, we have still 10 minutes. So I give you these 10 minutes to try something in Scratch. Even if it's something very simple, you don't have to create a story, just a very simple thing. And if you want, please share it in this studio. To share a project, let me go back to the Scratch website because I forgot that. Let's imagine that we are very happy with this project that we created and we want to save it. So I put here a title. I will say Academia Story example. And I click on share. If you have not confirmed your email, you will not have this orange button that says share. If you have confirmed your email, you will have this button. Okay, so please confirm your email, and this way you will be able to do what I'm going to do right now. Share the project. I click on share. The project is shared, and you can see that you can also here write some instructions. Maybe your project is a game, so here you can explain the instructions to play the game. Maybe it's just a story, so maybe here you can write like the plot or the script of the story or whatever is happening in the story. Also notes and credits. Maybe you used some images from the internet. Here you could put the credits of these images or the music that you are using, etc. Or your personal name because you want to be recognized for as the creator of this project. So we have instructions, credits, and now we have a project that is finished. And to share the project inside a studio, inside a gallery, we have to go to the website of this gallery. For example, this one, I had this one already open. It's an academia studio, Scratch studio, that we used when we were doing trainings between the partners, between the consortium of this project. And there are already some projects, very simple ones that the different partners in this project created. But here you can share your creations right now if you want. Okay, sharing a project is as simple as clicking on Browse Projects, choosing your project that you want to share, Academia Story Example, done, and now Academia Project Story Example is already here inside this gallery. Is in the Academia Scratch projects. So I go back to the presentation, and here you have the link and the QR code to go to this studio. So if you are already creating something, even if it's a super crazy project, you can share it right now if you want in this studio. Okay, and we can open it and you can explain to the rest of the attendees what you created. So I give you 5 more minutes to create something and to share it if you want. If you do it, I will open it during the 5 last minutes and we do the final remarks, and that's going to be all for today. Okay, so I keep this slide so you can have the QR code and the link to this studio. And if you have some questions, now also is a very good moment. Okay. At the beginning, maybe it can be overwhelming because in Scratch, you go to the interface and you see many options. You can do many things and maybe you feel lost. But trust me that it's very intuitive, and in just a few moments, you can create very funny things. And if you dedicate few hours to Scratch, you will be able for sure to create stories and games. So trust me and try it. And in Firenze, we are going to practice with it. I don't know if there is something written in the chat. If there is something or some question, please let me know.
No, for the moment, there is no question.
Okay, thanks. Just as a reminder, when you go to Firenze, please, if you can, bring a laptop or a tablet, because it's going to be useful for not for all the methods you need devices, but at least for digital storytelling and also for the talent maker, the method that we did before, it's going to be useful if you have some device. We are going to work in teams, so it's not critical because probably someone will bring a tablet or a laptop in your team. But if all of you have tablets or laptops, I think it's going to be better. Okay, just a couple of minutes, and I will check the studio to see if there is any extra project we can share with all. As a homework, okay, before going to digital storytelling training in Firenze, it would be nice if you create the Scratch account. I hope you already did. And if you try one of the tutorials, the one you like more. There is one about creating a story that maybe is the most related to this method, but you can try any of the tutorials, creating music, making a sprite fly. You can try whatever you want. The Scratch tutorials are very well designed. And if you practice just a little bit with one, you'll see that it's really easy to create things with the Scratch. I think I showed you how to change the language in the main website of Scratch, but here, when we are creating something, I go again to create. Okay, so here, if you go to settings, there is language, and here you can change the language. Okay, so children can program in their local languages. You will see that there are many. Yeah? Also, if you are opening a Scratch project created by someone else in some other country, you can see the code, you can see the instructions that they used in your own language, in your local language. So this is very useful to understand what others did. So I'm gonna go to the studio. I'm gonna show very fast these two projects, and if then you want to, the creators want to tell us what you did. Okay, there is an option to show to see the projects in full screen. I'm gonna It's very nice. Good. And the other one, okay, run away. Oh, hello. Do you want to play? Very nice. Okay, so as you can see, there were two characters, movement, interactions, because there was a dialogue, the rabbit disappears. So a lot of things happen in this short story. So thank you very much to the ones that created and shared. And right now I'm going to stop sharing. And if there is any question or the creators of this project want to share the process or something that you learned during these minutes practicing with the Scratch. Okay, if not, we'll see each other in Firenze and we'll be practicing and creating things and having some fun with the Scratch.